At the engagement party, they asked Benjamin if he had any regrets. I thought he would mourn our baby who was lost before it even took shape. He might also regret that I discovered his proposal plans ahead of time. I was expecting to hear his true thoughts. I made an excuse to go to the bathroom, but I saw him down his drink in one gulp. My biggest regret is not being able to marry Maria. Maria is my stepsister. Chapter 1. I hid by the door and heard Benjamin say those words. The smile froze on his face. And for a moment, it was as if a bucket of cold water had been poured over him. The voices inside the room fell silent for a moment. Then the discussions erupted again with a hint of mockery. Maria has been married for so long, yet Benjamin still can't forget her. I was wondering why Benjamin suddenly agreed to get married. Turns out he couldn't have the younger sister, so he's settling for the older one. How deeply affectionate. Benjamin didn't say anything more, just kept downing one drink after another. But I heard that Maria seems to be having a hard time abroad, and recently she returned home because of a divorce. Benjamin asked eagerly, "Really?" The next second, he opened the first pinned post on his social media app. Maria really came back home. His tone carried an uncontrollable joy as he got up and walked out. Behind him was a cheer. Benjamin can see his true feelings before marriage. Supporting Benjamin in pursuing happiness. His happiness. My silent sneer. What about me? What do all these years I spent with him count for? Benjamin walked away without even giving me a sideways glance. He drove away in pursuit of happiness. Unable to catch a cab at night, I walked homeward, my shoes ill-fitting, causing sharp pain with every step. These high heels were an engagement gift from Benjamin, and I liked them very much, but they weren't my size. I endured the pain all day, but now I suddenly don't want to endure it anymore. After taking off the shoes, my ankles were chafed and covered in blood marks. The autumn wind made me curl up into a ball. I remember Benjamin confessed to me on such an autumn day, asking if he could have the chance to take care of me. He looked into my eyes, shining with sincerity and honesty. I think he was the one who pulled me out of the abyss during the darkest time of my life. The person I trusted the most. I was willing to be with him, so I accompanied him in starting a business, starting from scratch to achieving some success. I even had a miscarriage of a 3-month-old baby for him. Benjamin hugged me and cried with guilt, promising to treat me well for a lifetime. But I never expected that his biggest regret was not being able to be with Maria. Then what do our 7 years mean? By the time I realized it, my face was covered in tears. Why does it have to be Maria? He clearly knows how much Maria and her mom have wronged me. After hearing Benjamin's heartfelt words, I shattered the 7-year-long relationship in my heart. I picked up my phone and called my aunt, who was far away in London. "Aunt, I don't want to get married anymore. I want to come find you." When I got home, there was a pair of unfamiliar high heels outside our wedding room, the same style as mine, even the same size. I tried to unlock the door with the key for a long time but couldn't open it, only to find out it was locked from the inside. Benjamin opened the door for me and said apologetically, "Sorry, Clara. Maria was too scared, so I locked the door." Maria was hiding behind Benjamin, her eyes slightly red. Why is she here? Even though I already knew, I couldn't help but ask. Benjamin stammered as he explained. Maria got divorced. Her husband abused her, and she barely managed to escape back to the country, with no one else she knows around. Maria is a good girl, saying it's troublesome to bother me in the middle of the night wanting to go back. But I wasn't comfortable with her staying at a hotel alone, so I took it upon myself to bring her back. He rambled on, with every word full of defense for Maria. "Clara, don't overthink it. There's nothing between me and Benjamin. If it bothers you, I'll just leave." Tears welled up in her eyes as she made a move to walk out. Benjamin hurried to pull her back, but his tone towards me was harsh. "Clara, I didn't expect you to be so cold. After all, she is your sister." The memory of her and her mother driving my mom and me out of the house, and her burning my arm with a curling iron, is still vivid. I said calmly, "I don't have a sister like that. She's just the daughter of a mistress." Chapter 2. Maria listened and then ran out crying. Benjamin was busy chasing after her, leaving me with the words, "Clara, how can you be so heartless? You and your mom deserve to be abandoned by your dad." I was stunned for a moment, feeling as if my heart had been stabbed. He didn't come back all night. I looked at the wedding invitation I personally designed on the coffee table. Marrying Benjamin was something I had dreamed of for years. So even for small items like wedding invitations, I designed them myself. In a week, it will be our wedding day. The plane ticket my aunt bought for me is also exactly a week later, just in time for me to settle everything and everyone here. The next day at work, Benjamin and Maria arrived together. He held Maria's hand and gathered everyone to announce, "From now on, Maria will be my secretary. So everyone, please don't bully her." I swallowed the bitterness rising in my throat with all my might. Benjamin maintained his integrity at the company, even hiring only male personal secretaries to avoid suspicion. But now, he broke his rule for Maria. Benjamin left me behind. I've already apologized to Maria for what happened yesterday on your behalf. Maria just got divorced and has no income, so I let her be my secretary. I'm helping her because she's your sister. Don't overthink it. I heard him softly instruct to make Maria's work as simple as possible. He is truly considerate of Maria. But did he forget that this company was built through years of hardship together? From a two-person studio to a company with hundreds of employees? Maria knocked on the door and came in with a pot of tea from outside. I saw a sparkling wedding ring on her hand, and Benjamin just happened to have a matching one in his hand. I suddenly grabbed her hand and demanded, "Why are you wearing my wedding ring?" Benjamin and I had chosen our wedding rings long ago and kept them at home. I loved the style and often tried it on, looking forward to the day Benjamin would personally put it on my finger at our wedding. Benjamin stepped forward quickly, urgently blocking Maria. I was the one who asked her to wear it first. Maria is so innocent, and if others knew she just got divorced, they might bully her or make things difficult. I just wanted to prevent gossip by having her wear it for now. "Are you going to be paranoid again?" During the meeting, he directly announced that Maria would be his secretary. Such a blatant declaration of ownership. Who would dare to bully her now? When I asked Benjamin to try it on initially, he was very resistant, saying that naturally, they could exchange rings at the wedding. Now he can't wait to put our wedding ring on Maria. No wonder. When I suggested engraving our initials on the ring, Benjamin impatiently said, "There's no need for that. I don't usually like wearing rings. It feels like my fingers are being restrained. So, it's the ring with my name engraved on it that restrains him." Yet wearing matching rings with Maria brings him such joy. Even though I have to leave, my heart still aches as if a knife is scraping across it. Benjamin noticed my displeased expression and softened his tone. "If you don't like it, next time I'll go with you to change the style. Maybe one with our initials engraved on it. Would that be okay?" Chapter 3. I took a deep breath. Just about to say there was no need for that, Maria removed the wedding ring and forcefully threw it at Benjamin. "I won't wear it anymore. If I had known I'd be mistreated even after returning to my own country, I might as well have let him beat me to death." She bit her lower lip in anger, tears welling up in her eyes. Benjamin glared at me fiercely, then softly coaxed her. "It's not like that, Maria. There's no intention of despising you. I have no time to watch this coaxing drama." Benjamin sent me a message about his business trip. "I need to go to Haishur for a couple of days. You start preparing for the wedding, and we'll discuss the rest when I return." I did not reply. Benjamin was on a business trip for one more day than he said. The day he came back, he rarely came to pick me up. I opened the passenger seat, and there was a woman's coat piled on it, clearly in Maria's style. Benjamin was frantically tidying up, but I saw him quickly hide a few used condoms into the gap, along with a worn black stocking. I felt a bit nauseous. Benjamin hastily explained a couple of sentences. "Maria is my secretary after all. Sitting in the passenger seat makes it easier for us to communicate." I calmly walked to the back seat and opened the car door. Benjamin looked at me through the rearview mirror. "Preparing for the wedding recently has been exhausting, hasn't it? You don't look very well. Otherwise, why not let Maria handle the project in your hands? You know she just joined the company, and her performance hasn't been up to par. So people tend to gossip about her." He clearly knew how much I had sacrificed for these projects, yet he handed them over to Maria with just a word. "Sure, I'll let her take over the projects I'm handling." Just as well. I'm about to leave too. Benjamin laughed when he saw how agreeable I was. Clara, you've changed so much. I love you even more for being so understanding. He hasn't said such sweet words to me for a long time. Yet I can't feel happy. There was only one day left until the wedding. I was packing my luggage, though I didn't have much to pack. Suddenly, my stomach hurt badly. In the early years, to help Benjamin with social engagements, I drank recklessly. Later, it left a chronic condition in my stomach. I was about to drink a cup of stomach medicine I had prepared for myself when Benjamin called me. Clara, come over here for a moment. His voice was frighteningly deep. I arrived at the private room he had specified. Our company's biggest partner, Boss Zhao, is sitting at the head of the table with a cold expression. Meanwhile, Maria is sobbing at her seat. Benjamin is comforting her beside her. Boss Zhao, Clara has arrived. If there's anything, you can discuss it with her. I'll leave with the secretary first. I don't know what happened, but I watched as Benjamin and Maria walked further and further away. Boss Zhao is a client I managed to connect with after much effort. He unleashed his anger on me with a barrage of words. Clara, I only agreed to temporarily change the liaison because of you. What's going on with this new person in charge? They know nothing. I said I wanted to cancel the cooperation. She lifted her skirt and came over to toast me, but then turned around and falsely accused me of trying to take advantage of her. You guys, Benjamin almost fought with me over her. If it weren't for your sincerity back then, I would never have agreed to cooperate with you. I never expected Maria to do such a thing. With an apologetic tone, I talked my mouth dry, toasted several glasses of wine, and agreed to give a few percentage points of profit. Only then did Boss Zhao agree to continue the cooperation. Finally managed to see Boss Zhao off. I ran into Benjamin and Maria in the hotel lobby. After seeing me, Benjamin angrily slapped me. Chapter 4. He sneered coldly. I was wondering why you were so kind, willing to give the project to Maria. Turns out you knew all along that Boss Zhao is a lecher, and you deliberately let her have it, trying to push Maria into the fire pit. I looked at Benjamin in disbelief, and he glanced at his palm, a hint of regret flashing in his eyes. Yet he still accused. Maria is already pitiful enough after her divorce, and you intentionally made her encounter such a situation. Clara, how could you be so malicious? So he left me there alone, thinking that Boss Zhao was a pervert. He unconditionally trusts Maria. I've been with him for almost 7 years, yet he suspects I have ulterior motives. My heart feels like it's being gripped by a large hand. My stomach hurts so much from the recent discomfort that I can't straighten up. I clutched my stomach and couldn't help but vomit, while Benjamin looked anxious as he supported me. What's wrong, Clara? But in the next second, Maria burst into tears. I encountered such things abroad, barely escaped back home, and now I'm facing harassment again. How can I have the face to live on? Maria was sobbing uncontrollably. Benjamin supported my hand gently. Clara, I'll go check on Maria first. I'm worried she might do something rash. The words asking him to call 120 were stuck in my throat, unable to come out. I watched helplessly as he ran towards Maria. Maria looked at me with a clear hint of triumph in her eyes. When I was curled up on the ground in pain, Benjamin hugged Maria and promised her he would never abandon her. Fortunately, just as I was about to faint, a passerby called an ambulance for me. When I woke up, I was in the hospital. The pungent smell of disinfectant made me alert. I looked at the plane ticket for tomorrow morning's departure. I removed the tube. After returning home, I packed my things to leave, but found a diary by Benjamin. Upon opening it, the densely packed handwriting was Benjamin's expressions of love for Maria. Even if Maria was vain and married to America for a better life, he didn't blame her. It's because I'm not good enough to give Maria the life she wants. In fact, on March 4th, 6 years ago, he anonymously transferred 189,300 yuan to Maria, which was all the money we earned from our startup, and that day was also when I unknowingly had been pregnant for 3 months, busy with social engagements and drinking, only to suffer a miscarriage unexpectedly. In the hospital, Benjamin held me with full of apology. Clara, I'm sorry. I really can't take out the money invested in the factory. because we couldn't gather enough money. We couldn't afford a proper abortion and had to resort to a small clinic for a forced medical abortion, which nearly caused me to hemorrhage and left me with serious health issues afterward. Such a steady person like him actually had reddened eyes. Blame me for being useless. That day, he wrote in his diary, "Love often feels like a debt. I don't even know if this money can help Maria." I thought Benjamin was crying for me and the child, but it turned out those were tears of guilt for Maria. He didn't even mention me or the baby we lost unexpectedly. When he proposed to me, he wrote, "Maria is the purest true love in my heart. If I can't marry her, marrying anyone else is just settling. At least Clara is her sister." I turned the pages one by one. I thought he had genuine feelings for me at least. I didn't expect it was all just my wishful thinking. By the time I realized, my tears had blurred the writing. In every moment I thought he loved me. His mind was only on Maria. I am just the best choice he couldn't have Maria. A compromise. Benjamin's call came through. "Are you okay, Clara? You were gone when I got back." I didn't say anything. He spoke to himself. "Tomorrow is our wedding day. I promise you, after the wedding, we'll go to a Rye for our honeymoon, okay?" I softly murmured and hung up the phone. There will be no wedding. I closed the diary, picked up the relevant documents, and called Aditi to the airport. Sitting at the airport, watching the sky gradually brighten, I boarded the flight to New York. Before turning off the phone, I watched as calls from Benjamin flooded in like crazy. Chapter 5. Boarding the plane. The scenery outside grew smaller and smaller. I closed my eyes and took a nap. Past memories relentlessly drilling into my mind. With my mother seriously ill, Maria's mother came to provoke us, leading to my mother's depression and eventual passing. With a stepmother, my days were very difficult. New wounds added to old ones. My mother's passing, my father's indifference, turned me into a hedgehog covered in spikes. My stepmother doesn't give me money, and my father doesn't care. I went to school hungry in the morning, and by noon, I would use several plates to get all the cafeteria dishes, filling my own plate to the brim. Because there might not be dinner, what I need to do is eat at least one full meal a day to avoid starving to death. I lived this way for a very long time, and everyone pointed fingers at me, saying I was a poor wretch who couldn't afford food. Benjamin is my desk mate, and he didn't look down on me like the others, until one morning during a run, I collapsed on the track, and Benjamin carried me to the infirmary. The doctor frowned at my physical examination report, advising me not to skip breakfast, as it's bad for my health, and suggested eating more eggs to supplement nutrition. I nodded repeatedly, yet felt helpless. Later, every morning, there would be a bottle of milk and a boiled egg on my desk. Benjamin glanced at me and said, "Don't overthink it. I just don't like eating them, and it would be a waste to throw them away." Perhaps it was at this time that I fell in love with Benjamin. Children who lack the care of a father and mother are especially prone to fall for someone who shows them a little kindness. But that youthful affection eventually turned sour. When did it start to deteriorate? I remember Benjamin's journal mentioned, meeting Maria was the most extraordinary thing in the world. They met in the piano club. Indeed, Maria was warm and radiant. She had parents who loved her, didn't have to endure disdain for a meal, and had no worries growing up. Instead of being like me, silent, introverted, and always holding an aggressive attitude towards those around me. But he shouldn't be with me while still being unable to forget his old flame. When I got off the plane, Aunt came to the airport to pick me up. Aunt's business has been doing very well these past few years, and she dresses very youthfully, standing out among the crowd of blonde-haired, blue-eyed foreigners. I excitedly rushed towards Aunt. Aunt hugged me. "Clara, you've suffered." Aunt didn't inquire about my life back home. She just patted my shoulder to comfort me. I restarted my phone. Benjamin has a total of 89 missed calls, and his long voice messages also came flooding in. Just then, a call popped in. I answered it. "Clara, you've finally answered the phone. Where have you been? Today is our wedding. Have you forgotten?" Hearing his voice, I thought about how just a week ago, I was eagerly wanting to marry him, and now I never want to see him again. The man's curses traveled from the receiver to my ears. How old are you? Still running away from home like a child? When I went home to pick you up, you weren't there at all. Hurry back. The guests are getting very anxious, and my parents are extremely angry. I give you 1 hour to arrive at the venue, or don't expect me to marry you. His tone carried a threat, as if giving me a final chance. I don't plan to go through with this marriage, so don't waste your efforts anymore. What do you mean? You don't want to get married anymore? What about me? Don't be so childish. Marriage is a matter between two people. Isn't what you're doing too irresponsible? Benjamin was so angry that he smashed something on the other end of the phone. I heard everything you said at the party that day. I won't attend the wedding, and you don't have to feel pressured to marry me. Chapter 6. The man paused, his voice tinged with guilt. Clara, listen to me. It's not like that. I was just talking nonsense because I was drunk that day. Getting drunk was just an excuse to leave me and find Maria. He was clearly indulging his true desires under the influence of alcohol. I thought of Benjamin's regretful expression at the party, and his decisive determination upon learning that Maria had returned to the country. Whether you love or not, you should have thought it through long ago. Benjamin was eager to explain to me. Clara, don't misunderstand. I was just drunk that day. I didn't think much about it, and I didn't know you were upset because of it. I can explain. I only feel sympathy for Maria, even if I had feelings for her. It was in the past. I only love you, Clara, he explained anxiously and urgently. Clara, where are you? I'll come to find you. Can I explain in person? Just please don't leave me. No need. Didn't Maria get divorced? Perfect. I wish you both a long and happy marriage. I finished speaking and hung up the phone. Isn't this just as Benjamin intended? I took the card out of the phone, snapped it in half, and threw it into the trash can. Aunt took me back to her house and handed me a document. Look at the good deeds Maria has done abroad over the years. Is Benjamin blind? Ignoring a gem like you and insisting on the child born by that mistress. I smiled at my aunt and said, it's okay. Besides, it was me who didn't want him anymore. I opened the file and discovered that Maria wasn't returning to the country because of domestic violence from her husband at all. After her divorce, she went abroad. Over the years, she repeatedly cheated, even becoming a mistress to destroy other people's families. When her husband found out, he subjected her to domestic violence. Her reputation in that area became notorious, to the point where everyone was against her, and only then did she think of returning to the country. Her affairs caused quite a stir in that area. She had been deceiving Benjamin all along, but these things have nothing to do with me, and Benjamin is no longer my concern. My aunt looked at me with guilt, her eyes red beyond recognition. It's all my fault. If I had taken you abroad earlier, you wouldn't have encountered so many problems. Your mom will blame me if she finds out. I hugged my aunt and comforted her. Aunt, you've already done very well. When I was little, my aunt was only in her 20s, and it was hard enough for her to support herself, let alone take me away. When I was in college, my aunt saved some money and wanted me to study abroad, but I didn't want to leave Benjamin, so I politely declined her offer. My aunt didn't say much. She just wished me happiness. I didn't expect that choosing love over a promising future would lead to an unsatisfactory outcome. Coming abroad means starting over again, but it doesn't matter. I'm still young, and it's never too late to do anything. Returning to my aunt's house, I found that she had already set up a room for me according to my preferences. It was just right for me to move in directly with my luggage. I took a few days to sort out my feelings. My aunt started a company abroad. I joined directly and started from the bottom. Due to not using a foreign language for a long time, my English proficiency declined rapidly. Fortunately, my foundation was still okay, and after a few weeks of communicating with other colleagues, I had no problem with daily communication. Back when I was helping Benjamin start his business, I took on many roles by myself, so I learned a lot. Aunt was amazed at how quickly I got the hang of my work. The busy work made me forget about what was happening back home. I even thought of Benjamin less and less. When a former colleague called, I was heating up milk for myself. Clara, did you really leave the company? Alice is also an employee at Benjamin's company. I left in such a hurry that I didn't properly say goodbye to the colleagues I was close to. She asked me with concern, "Do you know Benjamin is going crazy looking for you? No one can talk him out of it." Chapter 7. She sent a video of the wedding day. The video shows scenes from the wedding day. At the wedding ceremony, Benjamin waited a long time in the groom's suit, but the bride was nowhere to be seen. Benjamin called me over and over again, while searching through the dressing room and changing room for any sign of me. After confirming I wasn't there, he sat on the ground, dazed for a long time. Maria said, "Benjamin, this can't go on. The guests and your parents are all waiting. How about I stand in for Clara and finish the ceremony first?" Benjamin unexpectedly rejected her. "Maria, this is between Clara and me, and I don't want anyone else involved in our wedding." Then he called all my friends to ask where I had gone. I turned off the video before finishing it. "Alice spoke up for me, but I support you running away from the marriage. Maria knew about your relationship with Benjamin and still shamelessly clung to him. Benjamin, too, was about to marry you but remained ambiguous with Maria. Neither of them is any good. Clara, I think you deserve better." She stood up for me. I comforted her, saying it's good that she hasn't married or registered yet. Everything is still in time. Benjamin is still asking around the company for your address. You didn't give him my address, did you? I asked cautiously, and only felt relieved after receiving a positive answer. She and I bid farewell, supporting each other's future. However, Benjamin still managed to find me. When I was getting off work, a man blocked my way. "Clara, I finally found you." Benjamin grabbed my hand, his face filled with the joy of regaining something lost. I was somewhat surprised by Benjamin's change. In my impression, Benjamin is a man who loves cleanliness. His attire is always meticulous, and his stubble is shaved clean. But this time, he looked haggard, and his stubble was left untrimmed. "Clara, come back with me. Let's have another wedding. I won't hold you accountable for running away this time. I'll talk to my parents. So pack up and come back with me." He spoke as if it was a matter of course. It left me somewhat shocked. Maria was right. You just wanted to throw a tantrum and have me coax you. I'm here now. So come back with me. I shook off his hand with disgust. "Benjamin, you're overthinking. We're done, and I don't want you clinging to me anymore." Benjamin didn't believe it. "You're lying to me. We've been together for 7 years. How could you possibly bear to end it just like that? What does our 7-year relationship mean?" He questioned me. "You must still love me, right? You're just angry, so you don't want to come back with me," Benjamin asserted. I was surprised by his shamelessness. "Benjamin, I'll tell you one last time. I don't love you anymore. I knew we were over the moment you said at the party that you regretted not marrying Maria. Do you remember the day I had the miscarriage? You cried and told me you felt guilty, and I thought you really cared about me and felt sorry for me. In the end, you sent all our money to Maria. How can you say you love me?" Benjamin frantically explained, his voice trembling. Did you read my diary? What's written there isn't true. It's just my spontaneous expression and shouldn't be taken seriously." I recalled that night before leaving, flipping through page by page. Chapter 8. Almost every page began with, "To Maria. There are only a few strokes about me. Clara is capable and suitable for marriage. Clara looks somewhat like you. If in this life we really cannot be a couple, then I am willing to marry Clara, who resembles you a bit. He only sees me as a substitute. This is not love." I said to Benjamin, "Everything you said after drinking is your heartfelt words. And what you wrote in your diary is all your deep affection for Maria. Since you love her so much, I will fulfill your wishes. So why do you come to me?" I don't understand, nor do I want to think about it. I just want Benjamin to stop disturbing my life. Unexpectedly, after returning, I received a message from Maria. "Do you think you can take him away from me by using the runaway marriage tactic? If my mom could take my dad away, I can take your man too." I looked at the glaring words without speaking. I just felt it was quite sad. Aunt poured me a cup of hot water. "Your workability is really impressive. You've only been at the company for a few days, and you've already secured a project. Work hard. I won't give you any special treatment." I took a sip of water, then turned on the desk lamp to prepare the project materials. Aunt said I don't have many good friends in New York. She said, "You've been in a bad mood lately and don't want to talk to me much. You don't have many good friends in New York either. How about I take you to a nice place?" I didn't expect Aunt to take me to the largest bar in town. The lively rhythm of the music made me relax. During this time, several men approached me with drinks, but I turned them all down. Aunt has her own boyfriend, so I sat at the bar drinking by myself. A Chinese man sat down next to me with a drink. "Not in the mood. This strong liquor isn't suitable." The man's voice carried a hint of seduction. "Clara, long time no see." I looked at him with somewhat dazed eyes. He looked somewhat familiar. David. David was my senior in college, and after graduation, he invited me to his company, thinking that Benjamin also just started a company. I resolutely refused him. Later David became our rival. "What? Benjamin isn't here?" I drank all the liquor in my glass in one go. I broke up with him. A hint of surprise flashed in David's eyes. Unexpectedly, the effects of the alcohol hit very quickly as I was walking out. David followed me, supporting me to prevent me from falling. Unexpectedly, after walking for just a short while, Benjamin rushed out and harshly knocked away the hand David had on mine. "What gives you the right to touch her?" Saying this, he grabbed my arm. "Clara, come back with me." David, however, pushed him away. "Clara said she has nothing to do with you anymore. You'd better behave yourself." Benjamin looked at me, hurt, annoyed by his pestering. I took David's arm to let him take me away, hoping Benjamin would give up. Yet Benjamin still wouldn't give up. Every day, he waits for me at the entrance of my company, gives me a bouquet of flowers, and then times it perfectly to take me home after work. The whole company is gossiping that I have a clingy fiancé. When Maria approached me, I had just finished a meeting. She suddenly rushed out. "Clara, have you no shame? Your runaway marriage was just a tactic, wasn't it? You just want Benjamin to be obsessed with you, don't you?" Her face was filled with resentment. "I don't understand." Initially, she abandoned Benjamin to go abroad, and when she came back, I voluntarily stepped aside. What drama is unfolding now? Chapter 9. The matter between you and Benjamin. Please resolve it yourselves. If this continues, I'll have to call security. Maria shouted persistently. "Clara, I don't understand how you can be so self-righteous as a mistress." Me, a mistress? It's the first time I've heard a thief crying thief. It was just the rush hour after work, and her loud voice attracted many colleagues and passers-by. I couldn't help but say, "Clara, stop falsely accusing people. Your mother was a mistress for so long that she gave birth to you." "Another mistress. You stole my fiancé. And I didn't say anything because Benjamin is trash too. I generously let you have him, and now you can't keep him, so you come to me looking for trouble?" She angrily rushed over to slap me, but I firmly grabbed her wrist and slapped her back. Maria fell to the ground. Benjamin ran over and held Maria. "Clara, even if Maria is at fault, you shouldn't hit people." I can't be bothered to argue with him. Throw all the evidence in his face, including Maria's years abroad as a habitual offender, and the video boss Zhao sent me of Maria at social events. Integrate everything together. Benjamin casually flipped through 2 pages and was stunned for a long time. "Maria, is all this true?" Maria clutched his arm and shook her head. "No." "Benjamin, listen to me. It's not like that." Benjamin shook off her hand. "I thought you said you were a victim of domestic violence and had nowhere to go. That's why I took you in. But you lied to me." Benjamin grabbed my hand. "I'm sorry, Clara. It's all my fault." David appeared just in time to save me. "Get in the car." I quickly got in the car, closed the window, and shut out Benjamin's noisy voice outside the door. In the rearview mirror, Benjamin ran after the car for a while before being left behind. Affection that comes late is cheaper than grass. David smacked his lips and complained. After Benjamin learned Maria's true nature, he only asked to see me one last time. He stood downstairs at my house, but I didn't want to see him. Aunt pointed at the figure outside the window downstairs. "You really are infatuated. Why didn't you do something earlier?" Benjamin just quietly watched in my direction. I remember in high school, I was falsely accused by Maria of stealing things from home, and my stepmother exaggerated the story to that man. My father beat me until there wasn't a single unbruised spot on my body. It was Benjamin who secretly skipped evening classes to take me to see a doctor. He held me and said, "Clara, you need to resist. Clara, if they hit you again, just tell me, to ensure my safety." He would even linger downstairs at my house every time he walked me home, only leaving when he didn't hear any sounds of me being beaten or scolded. But later, he clearly knew what I had gone through. Yet he spoke to me for the sake of Maria. After all, she is your sister. Maria was too young to understand anything. You need to give her time to grow. Forgive Maria. It's all her mother's fault. He forgave her on my behalf for Maria, without caring about my feelings. His heart had already shifted without him knowing. I drew the curtains and looked no more, because David and Aunt had some work-related connections. My interactions with him increased. He often invites me to dinner after work and asks me to go to concerts. He knows my preferences well. So for all the things that Benjamin is too busy to do with me, he invites me to experience them. At first, just to make Benjamin give up, I accepted David's invitation. Later, as I spent more time with David, I gradually developed a liking for him. However, feelings fade easily. I came to terms with it and didn't invest too much. After our collaboration, at the end of the year, besides my salary, Aunt also gave me a generous year-end bonus. It wasn't the same with Benjamin. I don't know if he left me or if he got what he deserved. The performance has been declining, and many shareholders have united to kick Benjamin out of the board of directors. Maria couldn't climb up to Benjamin, so she set her sights on other men and became a mistress. As a result, the wife hired someone to throw acid on her. She survived, but her face was disfigured, and her mental state became unstable. My aunt's company is thriving, and I am also rising steadily through my own abilities.